All right, shalom, shalom. Before we begin, we give all praises and glory to our Hashem, our Shah, Hashem, Kaddash, the Shaki, Joseph, this work, due to the circumstances, we're going to be doing an inside lesson, but nonetheless, what we're doing is pushing this truth out, and all truth and sincerity, you know. So we see where we at in prophecy, and Lord willing, through the spirit of fire, Yahweh Shai, we had those 10 toes, meaning that we are patient waiting for what? The deliverance. So like the coming of our Lord and Savior to deliver his elect and what? The destruction of this place. And the third one, we anticipate that this current administration, their leader, of this corporation of America, Babylon and Great, the current administration, they are already acknowledging that what the third vote is imminent. And let me see. I was on this platform and they was going about where let's see. On the platform, they were pretty much acknowledging that this third vote is right around the corner. So, nonetheless, we know that is the build up, it's building up to this third war because this conflict, increasing conflict throughout the globe in South America, paying attention in Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asian, South Pacific. They're talking about there. Matter of fact, it says Cambodia, and if I ain't mistaken, Taiwan, Cambodia, and one of those countries. But I know it's Cambodia. They have they just started this tension amongst them. It's an ongoing fight, war, to say the least, that pretty much ramped up. Then you got in the South Pacific or in the Pacific Sea in China, there's tension over there, man. So let's see if I can get that. Sometimes I want to say stuff that don't say. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So like this is more or less like a illustration, but we've been talking about this, and what's going on is biblical.
World War III is at your doorstep. Donald Trump just issued a terrifying warning. World War III is around the corner if the killing in Ukraine doesn't stop now. He is pushing a bold peace plan to create a free economic zone in the Donbass, effectively forcing a buffer to end the conflict. But the war machine is fighting back. NATO is screaming that they are Russia's next target, trying to terrify Europe into a wartime mindset. They want drafts, conscription, and 5-year conflict timelines. They are desperate to keep the war going because peace is bad for business. Zelensky is caught in the middle, floating a referendum to buy time. But Washington wants this wrapped up by Christmas. Trump is right. For every diplomatic breakthrough, the warmongers create 2 new disagreements. The choice is clear. Accept Trump's deal and end the slaughter, or listen to the NATO elites and march straight into a global catastrophe. The clock is ticking and the stakes have never been higher. World War III is at your doorstep.
So right there, even though this is an illustration, but you can go to the current, media outposts or these current news stations that pretty much will give you more details on what this illustration, I just played because it wraps pretty much everything up in one thing. But you go to these media news outlets to pretty much give credentials on what I just played back, or I just played for. But that's pretty much biblical, man. It's that third woe, it's that build up, and then what he was saying, what this current administration is doing and what NATO is doing, they're at odds. So Trump and his administration want to handle it in this way, but NATO wants to handle it in another way. That's these what is it? They should hate the war. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what the United States is a part of NATO, but their ties there are being thin. They're they're having conflict amongst how they should handle certain things, and also they had currently right now they have sent Kenyan troops that are part of NATO to Haiti, man, to combat what they consider gang activity or something like that, to combat their gang problem in Haiti. So they have UN troops from Kenya currently right now in Haiti, man. So you see all this conflict, this global tension is building up, man. It's building it, and all this is biblical, man. So we know this is the like when you find that precept out of Joel chapter 3, verse 1, it says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem," which is a spiritual, right? Spiritually, the Lord bringing us back, that third temple, bringing us back spiritually first. Behold, in those days and at that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right? So the Lord is gathering these nations to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and that's over there where these nations are gathering at, is over there what they call the Arabian countries, over there in Arabia. Over there in the desert countries, the Middle East, that's where the Lord is gathering these nations, right? That's where the valley of Jehoshaphat is what it means. Jehoshaphat means the Lord's judgment, or Yahweh Shabbat, which what it means it means the Lord's judgment. So the Lord is going to gather these nations in World War III to judge them. This is Jeremiah 49:13. It says, "For I have sworn by myself, said the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse. And all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste." Right? So the Lord is going to waste Basra. The capital of Edom is Basra. America is the capital of Edom today. So the Lord is going to make America, Babylon a great perpetual waste. And how he's going to bring about that is is due on World War III, the third war as it written in the Bible. Right? Verse 14, it says, I have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against them, and rise up to the battle. Right? So that's what these nations basically are doing, is gathering up together ultimately to come against Babylon the Great, which is America. Mystery Babylon is America. You know, so the Lord is causing tension amongst these nations. I think I seen a video. I think the UN or the European Union, the European Union saying they want to basically cut ties with America or something like that, man. If I'm not mistaken, like I gotta look it up. But basically, they don't need America or vice versa. Like they trying to, and that's what I was talking about. The 10 horns shall hate the horse. You know, we was talking about in the Book of Revelation. You know, the 10 horns shall hate the horse. I got that precept in the Book of Revelation 17 and 16. It says, the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the horn, that shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So all these things, these things are building up to what? Ultimately fulfill prophecy. Man. These conflicts, these alliances that were once alliances, they're pretty much being severed. Man. You know, because nothing can escape prophecy. Man. You know, so all these things, all these events that are happening throughout the globe is a build up to the approaching of our Lord and Savior. Man. So we know, you know, also the precept says you will hear of wars and rumors of war, but the end is not yet. That's what, you know, roughly paraphrasing. So we're hearing these things build up, but the end is not yet. All these things are coming because we know one thing that has to be fulfilled prior to these nations going to war for complete annihilation, more or less. Of Babylon, the Great, aka America, is that the introduction of the MOTB, man. So this monetary system has to be done away with, and the issuing of the MOTB, man, must be fulfilled prior to these the ultimate global conflict, man, which is the third world that's spoken of in the Bible, man. You know. So I got a video here which I'm not gonna play. It's like 4 minutes long. It's from Sky News Australia. It says leaked reports show U.S. wants nations to leave the EU, which is the European Union. You know, so it's a leaked report. And I'm gonna just read out a description. It says Sky News contributor Sophie Ellsworth explains rumors. Look at that, rumors. You know, I just read that out. An ambassador, a rumor from the Lord. An ambassador is sick right now. Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah chapter 49, right? It says Sky News contributor Sophie Ellsworth explains rumors suggesting U.S. President Donald Trump aims to have Australia, Hungary, Italy, and Portland exit the EU. Basically, there's been reports of these extended leaked documents about plans that Donald Trump has to have countries pull out of the EU in a Brexit-style situation. Ms. Edgeworth said, interestingly, I don't know why it's not interesting, but the word is not coming out, right? It says the White House has come out and said the original document which came out last week, is correct, but this extended document with more information, including reports from recent days, is actually not real, right? So I guess they had an extended document that is not real, but it says the White House has come out and said that the original document, which came out last week, is correct. But I guess they got an extended document. They saying it's not real, the extended document. So just like the scripture said, in the last days, they're gonna be great confusion. So basically, that's what these devils try to do. He saw in general, he try to cover his tracks, man. Cause when he get exposed, he try to make up, nah, that ain't real, or all types of shit to try to cover his tracks up, man. That's how the devil. That's what the devil does, man. He's being revealed, he's being exposed. So it's only natural to him to try to cover his tracks. Which is like it says in Second Andrew chapter 16, 15. Can't remember which one, but it says great confusion shall be in the last days. And this third woe is going to bring about the destruction of Basra, Babylon the Great, which is America, mystery Babylon, right? Because a mystery to y'all people. It's a mystery to you people, right? A lot of people, or there's people that have some type of knowledge of the Bible, even like Bible scholars or whatever title that they have. They'll tell you that, Magog, Gog and Magog, was talked about in the book of Ezekiel. I think it's 38, I think. They say Gog and Magog is Russia, but they have no idea, supposedly, who is Babylon the Great in America. Right? Let me see if it's out of I got a precept, just the book of so like it's just kind of Ezekiel 38. You gonna read it? I was just saying that's I was referencing Magog and God because, like I said, some Bible scholars, Edomite scholars, they recognize God and Magog as Russia in the Bible, but they have no idea who was Babylon the Great in the book of Revelation, Jeremiah, because they don't understand prophecy, or they just in denial, one or the other. This is the book of Jeremiah 51 and 46. It says, unless ye heart faint. So like Jeremiah 51 and 46, at least your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. So all these are rumors, that are building up to what these nations going to war. Pretty much they already doing that, but it's going to ultimately come to that third woe, right? Where it's going to be just like it's going to be no debating that these countries are at war, because they're going to do things that's going to let you people know that's what's happening. Man. It's going to be, it's not going to be no longer a rumor. It's going to be evident that these countries, that they're going to be outright to let you know that we're currently at war now. Right now you see conflicts. You can see people are saying the tactics that certain countries that are doing, they're declaring war. It's a declaration of war, but it's not outright. But it's going to, 1 year it's going to come, where they're going to outright declare, hey, this is we're you hear them saying third world's war, which we know that's biblical, that third woe, So we're just patiently waiting there, but we know ultimately before that takes place, the MOTB must be implemented. You know, I also got another prophecy. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. So that's what's going on, man. You see, you already know that Babylon the Great, aka America, has allies and they have foes. So the foes is pretty much you can tell who they are, but these alliances, like I mentioned before, that Esau Edom has amongst themselves, or Babylon the Great had with NATO, those alliances are pretty much being soured, man. People are not feeling the same way about how they should handle certain things according to going about certain events that's taking place in the world. They're having different strategies. Like the UN thinking about going about it this way, and America is thinking about going about it that way. But yet, nonetheless, there are the UN and the United States, America, are one and the same, say the least. Then they are in alliance with each other, man. But now you see they have conflicting, strategies about how they should go about certain events in the world, man. Mainly this Russia Ukraine thing, that's one of them. So yeah, we see prophecies are coming or speaking from loudly, man. Those that have the outside to see, ears to hear. But these people, especially 2/3, man, they want this place to continuation, man. And like I was mentioning before, man, it's like everything is at an all-time low. The brothers been saying this, but the brothers that are in the truth, starting with the elders, man, the teachers, everything in Babylon the Great is at an all-time low. The relationships with these people are fake. The food is fake. We eat freaking food. So we can't wait. We patiently wait, man. Danger lurks at every corner. So we can't wait to the deliverance of our Lord and Savior, man, because we can tell that this place it needs to go, man. This place needs to go, man. Because the ruler, which Esau Edom, you see what type of direction he's going, man. If he doesn't, the Lord doesn't come and stop him, there won't, like the scripture says, there won't be no flesh left to save, man. If this devil continues to be ruling, there will be no flesh left to be saved, man. You go to your supermarket, you can't tell if you're eating real organic food or something that's been genetically modified and grown in a lab. They're cloning food, making you under the perception of being real or organic food. There's some freaking food, man. Right now, like we talked about, I don't know if we brought it up on our last lesson, but man, I talked about it, some time ago that the FDA had secretly passed where these corporations can make genetically modified organisms, or they got another
bioengineered food, bioengineered ingredients.
Bioengineered ingredients, which is one of the same, still genetically modified organisms, but they secretly passed a policy, the FDA, where they can put that in your food now. People wasn't aware of that, man. They secretly passed these regulations, man, because that's how these devils do, man. Without your consent, without your acknowledgement, they do things behind closed doors that affects the masses, man. So you walk into your grocery store, it looks the same outside, it may even taste the same, but then when you read the ingredients, they have some, bioengineered ingredient that is, real that is really harmful to the body, It's like that's really harmful to the body, man. You don't want to eat that stuff. You don't know what you eating, man. But the Lord had made our body to eat um, real food, man, not synthetic code. That's what if you go to a lot of these foods, they're called synthetic foods, man. And synthetic means fake. It's not real. It doesn't have the real nutrition, that your body needs. That's why these people, or like you said, all these ailments, carcinogenic, all these ailments and whatnot is at an all-time high. Where they got now, they're saying young people are catching cancer at an alarming rate, man. And you got to understand why. And people try to associate ailments and stuff with people with old age. Once you get older, then which that's a stereotype in itself. And it all depends on that person and how their lifestyle is. But now there's research that's saying a lot of young people are catching cancer at an alarming rate, man. Then you got to sit back and watch, like, why, how?
Yeah, I just looked this up. That was through the Spirit earlier this morning. I have looked this up. It says, I looked up what does it as God intended. What does as God intended means, right? It says as God intended means something is in its natural, pure, and original state, aligning with divine purpose, often contrasting with artificiality or human interference, right? So this devil is interfering with the order of things, man, the natural order of things, or how the Most High intended things to be on the earth. This devil, through artificial intelligence, he's creating he's creating fake foods, Franken foods, and he's interfering with the intents of how the Most High set things up on earth. The Lord created fruit that bears seed, right? So this devil is interfering with the natural order of things, man, or as God intended it to be, or Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to be specifically, man. Because he's Satan, he's adverse, he's the adversary to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and everything that he's about, man. So this devil is interfering. I'm gonna read that again. Because I was looking at that earlier this morning in the Spirit. It says, as God intended means something in its natural, pure, or original state, aligning with divine purpose, often contrasting with artificiality or human interference, implying a return to a simpler idea, implying to a return to a simpler ideal way of being or living, right? It says signifies things like love without. That's irrelevant. I'm gonna go. It says core meaning. It says natural state, unaltered by modern conveniences or human meddling, like fruits without artificial sweeteners, or hair without dyes, right? So basically, that's what the devil doing. Human unaltered natural state means unaltered by modern conveniences or human meddling. So that's what the devil's doing. He's meddling with the natural order of things, man. You got artificial sweeteners, like again, artificial. Everything is artificial intelligence. Everything about this devil and what he's doing is not real. It's not natural. And more or less, ultimately, it causes death. Man. You know, like the scripture says in Habakkuk, the second chapter, he is as death, man. And I think there's another scripture that says death followed him. I think it's in the book of Revelation. Death follows this devil, man. You know, that's why, like the ox said, you got to think why are young people um, are developing cancer at a young rate. I mean, at a young age. How is that coming about? Because of this devil meddling with nature, man. How God intended things to have on the planet Earth, and like this, I also said, this devil, you know, like it says in the book of Matthew, Saint Matthew, uh, if the Lord didn't shorten the days, there'll be no flesh left to be saved. Because this devil is going at a rate, he's gonna exterminate everybody on the planet Earth, himself included. You know, he's the son of perdition. That word perdition means destruction, right? It says divine purpose. It says living according to the Most High's plan for humanity. So even that goes to, I did a lesson. Like I said, I did a lesson earlier, like a couple of days ago, about Genesis, the first chapter, and it was going to, and I did it inspired off the elders video. I did it inspired off the elders video because in my feed, two videos just popped up relating to what the elder was going into, right? So the Lord and this guy was, and this Edomite was basically talking about how do these chromosomes know how to mindlessly operate and cause these functions, like like your chromosomes of your body, your DNA, it got a function that it automatically does. You know, like your white blood cells automatically know to attack foreign objects and this and attack certain things and to do certain functions in your body automatically. And this devil was trying to explain how is this possible? How does the chromosomes or how do the DNA know how to do things on its own? Because the Yahweh gave Yahweh Shai instructions to create things the way it should be created. So he created DNA, your cells, your molecules in your body to do a certain act. He created it that way, right? Just like if you got a machine and you create a machine to do a certain task, for example, so you can understand, if a human being created a machine and that machine was created to do a certain task on its own, that's the same concept. Just like it says here, it says divine purpose. It says living according to the Most High's plan for humanity. You know, so there was a plan in play. There's a plan at play here. Going into you don't have any free will to add to that, man. It's a plan. Everything is planned out. You know, Yahweh had planned everything out, man. You know, it was a plan. It was instructions that Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, gave Yahweh Shai, and he followed those instructions, right? By creating the angels and so forth and so on. By creating the angels, and the angels and Yahweh Shai created all that you see and don't see. So it's a plan, it's a purpose. Going back to this food, this food, the Lord told, Yahweh had instructions that there must be food. The food on the earth was created to yield seed, but this devil give you seedless, watermelons, grapes, because he's anti-life. He's the devil, man. He's what Satan means, adversary. So he's adverse to the plans, the purposes of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That's the reason why he must be taken out of power.
I got a precept in the book of 2 Peter, chapter 1 and 3. It says, according to his divine power, hath given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness through the knowledge of him that hath called us to glory and virtue, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust, man. You know, even though this is talking about what the spirit.
What's happening?
Second book of 2 Peter, chapter 1 and 3. I'm gonna read the New Living Translation. It says, verse 4. This is 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 4. New Living Translation. It says, and it reads, and because of his glory and excellence, he has given us great and precious promises. These are the promises that enable you to share his divine nature and escape the world's corruption, causing the world's corruption caused by human desire. Even though this is talking about spirit, but it also can equate to what the world intended, or what the world intended things to be in his world. Because the world looks like the Lord had created the world, meaning that the animals, the plants, the fruits, the vegetation, etc. These things are grown naturally, right, by nature, but who came in and corrupted that? Which is Esau Edom, man, through his lust and his desire to be the God of the world, man. He has a lust and desire to be, he has a God complex, man. So he wants to have the world walk to his rhythm. So he wants to do away with how the Lord intended the world to work. Everything grow according organically. Now he wants to come in and say that, no, do away with organic. I can genetically modify plants, food, meats, vegetables, or whatever, and sell it to you in a false, fake imitation, cheap imitation as a real food, man. So he's corrupting what the Lord had intended, man. So that's what the wicked, because the wicked is in rulership, man. That's all. That's like, you can't deny that the wicked is not in rulership, which Esau Edom, man, is a plain white man. You can't deny it, man, because like we mentioned now, like these foods and stuff, you can't, you can't even go into the food. You spending more, it seems like, I'm glad, the Lord's doing it, because the Lord said that he's going to, speed up the time for their elect's sake, roughly paraphrasing. But you don't even have, it seems like, you don't have enough time in the day to, do certain tasks, like, say, for instance, going out to get food for yourself or whatever. You got to spend more time now looking at the ingredients to make sure you definitely want to buy this now, man. Like, you can't trust what you see now. Like, it looks like chicken, but is it really chicken? It looks like beef, but is it really beef? It looks like an orange, but is it a natural orange? Like, now you got to really look, and you could be deceived by the label, because them devils, they can just put it organic. Like, I ran into a situation time ago with, like I was saying, grapes. They say organic seedless grapes. Right there in itself is an oxymoron, man. If it's organic, it will have seeds in it. There's nothing produced organically that doesn't have, like, say for instance, a fruit. It has a seed. Grapes have seed naturally, because that's where it comes from. The seed produces the fruit.
I'm gonna read that once again, because that's basically like you were saying, second Second Peter 1:3 says, according to his divine power, have according to his divine power, have given unto us all things that pertain unto life. Man. So he gave us all things, meaning like I said, it can relate to physical too. You know, because if you bearing seed is life. You know, if you got seedless grapes, seedless whatever, that doesn't bear life. So he gave us all things that pertain unto life, even because we don't supposed to be eating no goddamn man-made foods, right? You know, we supposed to be eating the foods that the Yahweh Shem Shah intended for us to live off of. Man. Means natural foods according to what he planned for us to eat, which food is from the ground. You know, that was the plan from Yahweh Shem Shah. His plan is that we eat fruit from the earth, containing seed, right, that produce seeds. Right? Now, I'm gonna read that again. Second Peter chapter 1:3. So it says, according to his divine power, have given unto us all things that pertain unto life. Right? You know, so that means your food too. He gave you a dietary law. Right? You know. So the Lord gave us dietary laws. He told us how to eat, what to eat. You know, in the case of this, in the case of that, you know, you should do these things, even to your diet. You know, but this devil is bringing about man-made foods that cause death and destruction, man. Cancers, diabetes, goddamn obesity. You know, everything you can think of, man. You know. Goddamn fucking high blood pressure, all types of shit, man.
And I got a precept in the book of Genesis, chapter 1:29. It says, and Yahweh said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit. So like in the which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for me. So the Lord Lord gave us these fruits, and what it has a seed in it. And that means you can tell you buy something that has a seed, it's organic. It was grown the way the Lord intended it to grow, man. But these devils, man, I bet right now they're so diabolical. They're trying to go to the extent of trying to mimic the seed too. So
They do. GMO got seeds. There's a GMO seed, but it's patented. You know, you got to buy from the devil. You know that dude BG, B-Gate. You know, he patented the GMO seed, man.
So the Lord has given us these things that produce from nature, man, that are organic to nourish the body, man. You know, that's why the Lord has given us these plants, and there was or these foods, like I'm gonna say this is like vegetable fruits and vegetables of that nature. They were made and they were designed to sustain the body, man, on a nutritious, if I'm saying it correctly, or on a nutritious level, man. You know, but this devil, he's trying to mimic what the Lord is doing in southern people, and it lacks nutrition, man, to sustain your body. That's why all these ailments are at an all-time high, man. We're patiently waiting because, like I said, this devil continue to go about things just like this guy that's in the administration right now. His first term or his last administration, when this C-19 drug was going around, he was talking to his CDC staff. I remember he was saying something. They were bringing about disinfect. They were like, yeah, please disinfect all your, this, that, third. He was like, that's what the guy that's currently in this. He's like, can we put that in, like disinfect, like second this is like Lysol or something, which is a disinfecting spray, right? He was like, can we put? He said, that's some good stuff. He said, can we put that in the vaccine and shoot it up? You got them people. There was I still remember that there was a particular Edomite chick. She looked at him like he was crazy. Cause everybody like she like this motherfucker's ridiculous. You just can't believe this came out this dude's mouth. He was like that disinfectant. That's the only way we can put that in, injecting you with some poison, man. The stuff is not. That stuff is not mean. It's not meant to be in a body, man. But yeah, that's the mentality of this devil, man. He don't care, man. He think that he come with some clever scheme, and because he uttered it, it's a wise decision, man. Like he said, they want, man. If this devil continues to be in rulership, there will be no flesh left to save, man, because he will destroy everybody, and himself in the process of world domination, man. This dude is a ticking time bomb, man. He's set for self-destruction, really. That's what we do. We can't wait for the Lord, but you got these 2/3, man. They want this devil to continue, man. Secretly trying to have these little secret agreements and alliances with them. They want to overcome by trying to
undermine other so-called black men. They try to wipe the fuck out.
Yeah, they try to secretly show you got these devils, man. 2/3 devil ass niggas, man. They trying to show their allegiance, trying to show their
standing, lying and wait. That's what the devil doing, lying and wait, playing mind games, standing, a block away up the fucking street, on the fucking sidewalk, around the corner. Yeah, the Lord see all you fucking devils, man. And nothing that you're doing ain't hiding. It's gonna come back to you. It's gonna come back to you 100-fold, man.
The devil's trying to show their loyalty secretly by trying to undermine other so-called black people, try to wink to them and stuff like, see what I did, boss. I'm proving my loyalty to you. I don't care. Cleave on to them. Like I'm not standing between these 2/3 clown niggas and these damn devils, man. They act like you standing in between. Yeah, cleave to them. I don't care because you gonna go down with them.
I think that's Isaiah chapter 30. I was looking at that too. Isaiah 30 about going down for Egypt to help. But before we get off that other subject, the subject we were just talking about, I got another precept. This is on the book of Hebrews chapter 2 and 11. It says, for both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one, of which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren, right? Talking about Yahushua and the believers, the church, right? The elect. It says, saying, I will declare my name unto my brethren in the midst of the church. Will I sing praise unto thee? And again, I will put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children which the Most High Yahweh have given me. Verse 14 says, for as much then as the children are partakers of the flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil, right? So that's what it is, man. I'm reading that verse 14 again. It says, for as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil, man. So this devil got this, Esau Edom is the devil. He got the power of death. The Lord blessed this devil, blessed Esau, the devil, to bring about death and destruction, man. You know, verse 15. And deliver them who through fear of death were all and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage, man. So that's us, man. We are bound by this devil and his fucking laws, man. If he say one thing, then put it into law. And if you break it, and you go against this supposed law, policy, unrighteous decree, you a criminal. So we're subject to this devil, man. Verse 15 again it says, and delivered them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage, man. So we're in captivity, man. We're in captivity under bondage to this devil and his wicked lifestyle, man. His sinful ways, man. You know, this devil, he's adverse to life in itself, man. You know, so the Lord got to deliver us, man. Just like I brought out, that precept in Matthew, the book of Matthew. If the Lord didn't shorten the days, He shortened the days for the elect's sake. For the elect's sake, the days are shortened. If not so, basically, there be no flesh left to be saved, man. You know. So that's why Yahweh Shai had that's why Yahweh Shai did that he did all that he done for the elect, man. You know. So destroy this devil, man.
I'm still on the subject of, this devil with his Frankie food. I got a precept, this book of Ecclesiastes 38:4. It says, the Lord had created medicine out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known, and he might have like it, and he have given men skill, that he might be honored in his marvelous works, which such doeth he heal men and taketh away their pains, man. So the Lord had put medicine in these fruits, vegetables, and stuff that was produced through the earth, man. You know, the process of the growth of, whatever it may be, whether it be a plant, a herb, whether it be, food. Those are these foods that say, for instance, your body has some ailment. The Lord produced these natural herbs that are grown through the earth for you to take to what? To take away their pains, man. Take away your pain, man, which is organic, natural, made the way the Lord intended to be made. God intended it, But this devil was trying to have you take these pharmaceuticals, these pharmakeas, that just like that dude, Cat Williams, did a skit some time back. He talking about you would take this for your arm, and then he said, he'll fuck up your leg. He said, have you looking like a flamingo in front of your child. So that's what it is. He had this dude, this devil, it will make these, this synthetic medicine that really doesn't treat anything. It may give you some type of relief to make you feel like it, but it's not really treating.
Temporary relief. There's no money in cure. That's the whole scheme of the matter. There's no money in curing any elements. He's trying to give you some type of temporary relief so you can continue spending, coming to him and spending your money.
Just like that other. I'm gonna bring out these.
There's no profit in cures.
Just like that other comedian, Chris Rock, like he said, there's no money in the cure. The cure is in the medicine. You know what I'm saying? So which if you could go, there's a lot of these ailments that these people have that are let me say that are fatal. These people have patented cures for already, man. That's why I said these people should be, especially here in Babylon, where AK in America, man, if they were wise, they would be in uproar. They sit here watching their loved ones pass away from an ailment. I'm not going to say it, but from an ailment that is fatal, but yet the United States has a patent for the cure, man. So they have a cure already. I can name a few, but I'm not going to say. But if you can look these up, these people have patents for cures for these these fatal ailments that people so-called suffer from on a daily basis, man. They have the cure for it. They're just not going to give it to you. They'd rather have you get, spend going back and forth getting their pharmacia so they can continue to just like the odds work out. There's no profit in the cure. There's profit in their medicine. So they'll feed you this medicine that will pretty much have you, sustained or temporary relief until they can milk all whatever they can get from you, man. That's the devil, man.
It's just like I read out, I'm gonna read it again out of the book of Hebrews chapter 2, right? Hebrews chapter 2, and I'm gonna read verse 14 out of the Amplified. It says, therefore, since I'm gonna read out the King James. It says, for as much then as the children are partakers of the flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death, talking about Yahushua, he suffered death on the cross. He might destroy him that have power of death. That is the devil, man. So this devil, it's a spiritual and a physical death, and spiritually and a physical death, man. You can't live your life under this devil's rulership, man. You people think you're free to do whatever. Nah, man, this devil controls everything, man. You think you got some type of freedom in this lane, what he's doing, closing another lane. Like these simple Negroes out here, they think because this devil allowing them to make money in these avenues, cause more or less it's a distraction to you, man. He'll let you make money. Now these niggas up there this devil let a lot of these niggas make money off folly and bullshit. They can make easy money, doing nothing basically. But you know what he's doing? He's causing more and more death. And also he's taking away you people's rights too. So you can't live under this devil. He don't want you to live. You can't live peacefully under the devil, man. That's his disguise. His cloak is becoming like he's harmless and peaceful. He's bringing about cures and all things. That's all deception, man. Pseudoscience, man. So you can't live in peace with this devil, man. Or he's gonna close off another avenue, until eventually you're gonna be wiped out. Eventually that's what he's gonna do, man. He's gonna close off. But like you looking over there, hey, look over there. Distraction tactics. Look over there. While he's doing something over here, man. That's what this devil always do, man. I'm gonna read it out. I'm gonna read it again, and I'm gonna just read that verse alone. Hebrews 2:14 it says, for as much then as the children are partakers of the flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had power of death, that is the devil, and delivered them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage, man. That's what we is. We're subject to bondage under this fucking devil, man, in fear of death, spiritually and physically, man. You know what I'm saying? You in fear of death constantly, man. But this devil, you like what Job said, the land of darkness, right? Where in the shadow of death, man. The land of darkness and the shadow of death, man. This place is not. This place is engulfed in death, man. That's what this place. Because why? Because the wicked bear fruit, man. The scripture says, when the wicked bear fruit, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn, man. So these devils are bearing fruit. So we everybody, the whole earth language is in mourning, man. Why? Because the wicked bear fruit. And that's the reason why Yahweh Shai did what he did, man. So he can bring about life abundantly. That's what the scripture says, man. You know, you ain't got to worry about no fucking GMO cancerous, oh, fuck ass food no more. Are you eating real chicken? Is this real beef? And you know who's trying to be the leader of a fucking 3D meats, beef and shit? The Izzy State, man. They trying to profit off death, man. You know, profit off death, profit off this pseudoscience, like it says in First Timothy, science falsely called. You know, they trying to profit off death, man. You know, this devil is as death, so he's trying to profit off of it and make money and killing you at the same time. You people think he's doing a good deed. Oh, look, because they're gonna give you, of course, they're gonna give you a fucking a so-called excuse. You know, the devil gonna come up with a reason, a lie, right? He's gonna come up with a lie to deceive you with, to make it, to justify his means. You know, he's gonna come up with a lie for it, man. You know, you people are gonna fall for it. You people are falling for it, man. You know. So this devil is as death, man. You know. So
Yeah, he devil, man, they'll go to the extent, second if you want to, you don't want to, you're being wise to what they're trying to do. You don't want to eat their food. You just say, hey, I want to grow my own food, organic food. These devil will go to the extent to try to regulate, like I was mentioning. They'll pass a law to demonize you and say you can't grow food, you know, or like I mentioned before, basically what these devils have done, they had patent, or they had they had made them, well, they had stated that they have the rights to all the natural seeds. So you can't, grow anything without their permission, you know. So you can't grow an apple, I'm just saying apple tree or whatever it may be, without these devils' permission, because they say they own the patent or the rights to that seed. And you can't grow this without our express permission. That's the level these devils are, man. You know, so you are forced. These devils are pretty much forcing you to eat or to pretty much go about their life the way they want you to do it. And then if you go about it the way the Lord intended it, they'll demonize you, man. And they just have these 2/3 suckers looking at you like you. Yeah, you see, that's the law. Because all they want to do is appease this devil, man. They don't want to stand up for righteousness, man. Because this is where the wicked dwells, and this is the wicked domain, man. And these people, more or less, they're just doing it or following the footsteps of this wicked ass society, ran and ruled by Esau Edom in a separate way, man. Because in certain states, they're actually have done that, man. Where you can't do certain things, you can't grow certain things organic, you know. But then I see what these devils are trying to do too, man. Because they're playing, they're trying to, what they are, they're masters of manipulation, man. They hear this truth, which that's and people just like we are. What we do, we're in the know, while the rest of these clowns around here stay ignorant. Then they try to act like they're going to benefit off of what they hear you say. What? He's doing say what? And then they allow these suckers through this eavesdropping technology that this devil has, or just this common nigga shit, just sit here quiet and listen. They allow this devil allow them dummy 2/3 to pretty much act like they're gonna benefit off your nut. That's why I see now, like you walking, you what I see now you got these project niggas trying to act like they allow these bum ass niggas to grow like fruits and vegetables right outside of projects. You know, right if it ain't within the projects, it's right outside, acting like they're doing something positive. You know, because that's what they do. They're allowing these bum ass niggas to mimic people that got knowledge and know-how, but the people that already been had the knowledge and know-how, they're preventing you from doing what you already know that you're capable to do, and allowing these nitwits to mimic you because you're speaking the truth, man. You know, but these devils trying to have these suckers around here, you know, forgive my rant, but they trying to have these suckers around here act like they on some same level as you. These damn nincompoops that act like, cause these motherfuckers trying to act like everything that you do. I'm saying, I'm just speaking for my own living testimony. They trying to have these nitwits, these devils trying to have these nitwits like they're on the same. I'm gonna say they're trying to make like everything you do is common knowledge. Whatever you doing, however you go about your life, whatever you know is common knowledge to these nitwits around here that really, in all actuality, they have no interest in, but because you draw some interest in it, and like I said, I'm speaking from my own little testimony, because I draw interest in it now, they got all these common ass lame niggas acting like they intrigued them. You know, oh, it looks good, it sounds good, or whatever it is. It sound, you know, yeah, because I know my intellect is up to par. These jokers around here, are they trying to do that? Like I said, they're vampires. Man. They're trying to steal, you know, they're trying to feed off your energy, your knowledge, your know-how, how you progress. They act like because they're trying to secretly do that, they're trying to put you at a disadvantage, you know, by pretty much by you letting your light shine. They're trying to act like by you letting your light shine, you are being put at a disadvantage. And these jokes around here like now, because you shining, your light is shining, it put you at a disadvantage. Now we at an advantage. These jokers don't put up the effort or nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? They just allow these jokers to do whatever. Because if it was you, like I said, if I had a garden of plants and stuff right outside, or right outside the project, you know these damn devils be there, these niggas out there be doing, they be damn destroying it, man. Or if it not, once it reap the crop, they be stealing it. But if it wasn't that, they'd have some cracker come around try to say they try to ban it, try to regulate. You can't grow this within the city limits. You got the permit. They say all this shit to try to prevent you from doing it because you got the know-how, but they'll let these damn lanes do it, man.
I got a piece about the book of Acts 17 when we got the Amplified version. It says explaining and pointing out scriptural evidence that it was necessary for the Hamashiach to suffer and rise from the dead and say this Yahweh Shai whom I am proclaiming to you is the Messiah, is the Hamashiach, the Messiah, the anointed. And some of them were persuaded to believe and join Paul and Silas, along with a large number of the God-fearing Greeks, which these are Israelite foreigners. These Greeks are Israelite foreigners or Israelites that was living in foreign lands. And many of the leading women. But the unbelieving Jews became jealous and taking along some thugs from the and the unbelieving Jews became jealous and taking along some thugs from the lowlives in the marketplace, right? So that's what it is. These fucking lowlives, man. They doing the same thing, man. The same tactics. They got these fucking lowlives, fucking scumbags doing their bidding because they become jealous. You know, these coons, you know, these emeritus manumission acting ass niggas, you know, trying to seek some type of comfort and their slave master society, you know, they're doing everything they can to undermine other so-called black people. Most definitely the men of the Lord, man. You know, 'cause they are devils, man. You know, if you're not of this ministry, man, basically you a demon. You know,
So,
it's simply put.
so like, maybe I'm gonna finish off what I was talking about. Yeah, like I was saying, like you could go by these projects, you would see it. They got these little gardens going right outside the project. If not inside, some of them depends on where you're at. And if you was doing, they'll look at you like you some country bumpkin. Um, and you like, we don't do that around here, motherfucker. Like they some damn sophisticated city going because these niggas in the field projects. Like carry your ass to the country somewhere and grow that shit. What the fuck you growing that shit in the city limits? You know, so they look at you like we don't do that around here. Like, go to some rural area and grow your crops and shit. That's how they're looking at you like you some damn fool. They try to belittle you because you doing all what it's supposed to be organic. Like motherfuckers think these buildings big here. No, motherfuckers, they built these buildings. A lot of them been around here. Vegetation, fruits, trees, herbs and stuff is here, man. You know,
Yeah, I think it was saying
what they consider damn a rural area, meaning, you know, the rural area means a lot of trees and shit. What you think was here before they was cities, man? They was fucking woods, they was trees and shit, motherfucker. They built these projects or houses or whatever, and now, you know, these motherfuckers trying to give off some false impression like seeing trees or seeing vegetables and gardens and stuff is something for country people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or people that live in rural areas, man. It's something, man. That's why I said that's how far gone. Basically, that's how stupid these people are, man.
I think it was one point in time they did have like fruit trees, like fruits like apple trees, pears, and things like that. They had some type of fruit vegetation in these on these properties, man, these houses and things like that. You used to have fruit trees, apple trees, you know, things that you could eat, but then eventually they cut that out, man. They started what they call renovating and redeveloping or whatever, man. And they cut it they cut the vegetation, fruit trees, so to speak. They cut them out of the remanufacturing the homes or whatever, man. They cut that out. They cut him down. Man. So that's this devil being who he is. He's the one, like I read at the Hebrew chapter 2, man. He got power over death, but he brings about death and destruction, the son of perdition. So they don't breathe life. They breathe death and destruction, man. So I think I've seen a couple of videos that are saying that they used to have fruit trees on properties, houses, and these apartments and shit at one point in time.
I saw some information that was saying when it comes to these trees, like you said, they said they cut off, like they were saying about, I mistaken, it was like the female tree. They just planted the male version of it. They said the female version of these certain trees, they're the ones that produce, you know, the fruit, you know what I'm saying? And they said that's how, like you can't tell the difference. There's a small distinction, but the female tree pretty much produce some of them. You know, they certain ones they produce these fruits, but the male you can see that same tree, but that tree being that it's male, it won't just like you know like in the human who produced the child. You know, the male give off that you know the seed, but the female produces. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about this. So the female tree produces that fruit, but you will see the same version. It looks the same, but it's not because it's not producing that fruit because it's not the female tree. And that's what a lot of these devils have done. They have took away the female tree so it won't produce that fruit. To you know to further or continue to deceive the people, but you know deceptively they're taking away. You know what I'm saying? That's a tree. It must just not bear that fruit. But not the reason why because it's not the tree, the female version, the bear fruit. You know that's how deceptive these devils are, man.
Yeah, I just Googled this. I said, did they have fruit trees, for example, where near, where near, did they have fruit trees, for example, near housing and homes at one point of time? And It says yes. It says yes on AI Outview. It says yes. It was very common and widespread historically. I mean, it was very yes. It was a very common and widespread historical practice to plant fruit trees near homes and in residential areas. So historically, back in the day, you used to have fruit trees by your house or in residential areas, man. You know, these trees serve both practical food and resources and aesthetic and the aesthetic purposes, man. You know, so at one point in time, historic in history, they had fruit trees that in your house, you know, your residence, these housing projects and shit. One point in time, historically, they had fruit trees, man. You know, so eventually over time, what this devil do? What this devil did? He chopped it down. He chopped it down. Want you to rely on him. You know, you got to come to me for for your purposes, right? You know. So this is the devil, man. We're trying to let you people know the devil of the Bible. He saw Eden, man. The self-proclaimed white man. You know, that's the devil. The devil and Satan, man. It's him, man. He's anti-life, man. You know. That's why the men of the Lord is here to proclaim to let you know what's going on, man. You know, that's why the Lord, that's why Yahweh Shai has men on the earth to let people know what's really going on, man. You know? So at one point in time, historically, people had fruit trees planted near their homes and residential areas. You know, so this double that took that out, man, because he wants you to rely on him and what he's bringing these man-made foods and shit like that that's destroying you, man. You know.
I got a piece of this book of Genesis 1:12. It says, "And the earth brought forth grass and herbs yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielded fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Yahweh saw it, and Yahweh saw it that was good." So like Yahweh saw that it was good. So that's good, man, to see these trees and stuff like that, man, going and giving you food. It's all intended by the Heavenly Father, man, Yahweh Shai, man. You know. So all this stuff.
And that word good means as intended. That's what it means, man. Like the Yahweh Shai and the angels did what the Lord Yahweh instructed, and then they seen it and they said, yeah, this as he instructed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is good, meaning what? It's as he instructed. Yeah, he instructed plants bearing seed. Now you see plants, you see plants bearing seed. Yeah, this is what the Lord instructed. It's good. Yeah, good. You know what I'm saying? That's what it means basically, man. As he instructed. That's what he created these plants to do, man. To produce seed, man.
Yeah, just like we had, so we was, we on this subject of, this food, but we was, had some chicken one day, and the aunt was saying, man, he was cringing,
Yeah, I was dreading. I brought it out. I think if it was the last time I brought that out, man. I was dreading to fucking eat that shit, man. I mean, like I was dreading to eat this. I don't know what it was, man. Cause I seen some videos and the shit, the chicken had bones in it, but the lady was like the shit looked 3D printed because it looked like it was layers. It was like thin little sliced layers, like the shit could have been 3D printed.
That she would try to pull the skin wouldn't tear. It was very tough.
Right, and I remember eating some chicken some time back. That chicken was tough, man.
That shit about that same texture, man. We like I said, you don't know what, but I remember that pack when we opened. That's what it said. It says, like I think it was said naturally grown or something like that. I remember saying, but you don't know, man. These devils slap a label on it and then feed it to you, man. You can't tell, That's why I'm a Lord willing, man. I'm gonna try to go about other ways of obtaining certain things, man. I'm looking at the sources. I don't know if this guy I'm gonna see, I'm trying to go about obtaining foods another way, man, because like these supermarkets are like death camps now, man. You don't know what you're doing, man. You don't know what you eat, man. I'd rather, take my chances buying something that may be grown more likely grown from the farm than rather than they saying it is and slap a label on it and then sending it to you, man. But yeah, these people are diabolical,
God, I got a precept out of the book of Revelation, chapter 6. I'll read out the KJV and then the Amplified version. It says, Revelation 6 and 8, it says, and I looked and behold a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him. So this horse, all of these horses, basically, except for the white horse, represents Esau Edom, man. You know, in Revelation chapter 6, man, this is this devil, man. This is Esau Edom. Revelation chapter 6, Revelation chapter 6 and 7, so like it says, and when I had opened the fourth seal and heard a voice of the fourth beast saying, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him. And power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth, man. So this devil is killing you with hunger, because you got to eat. You got to eat, killing your ass with hunger, man. What you going to go do? You going to go eat his man-made foods, man. And I'm gonna read it out the Amplified version, man. Right? Revelation chapter 6 and 7, it says, and when the Lamb, broke open the fourth seal, I heard a voice of the fourth living creature called out, come. So I looked, and behold, an ashen, pale greenish gray horse, like a corpse, representing death and pestilence. And its rider's name was Death, and Hades, the ram of the dead, was following him. Right? So death follows this devil, man. They were given authority and the power over the fourth part of the earth. The fourth part of the earth is America. So there's Asia, there's Asia, Africa. I'm gonna say something wrong. I don't know why it's not coming to mind. It should be simple. But for whatever reason, it's not coming to mind. And America is the fourth part. It's Asia, Africa. Well, it says, Europe. I thought it was Europe, but I wasn't too sure. Because basically, Europe is basically made up. Europe, the term Europe was made up by Esau Edom. Europe is West Asia. You know, So I was thinking Europe, but at the same time, the information came into my head, so I wasn't too sure to say it or not. But it is Europe. So they more or less they separated Europe, and Europe is separated into itself in a modern day sense, which there's no actual physical land division or water division from Europe and Asia. But nonetheless, it says it's Europe, Asia, Africa, and America is the fourth part. You know, So it says, verse 8 again, it says, so I looked, and behold, a ashen pale greenish gray horse, like a corpse representing death and pestilence, right? So this devil represents death and pestilence. And his rider name was Death, and Hades, the ram of the dead, was following him. They were given authority and power over the fourth part of the earth, which is America, to kill with the sword and with famine and with plague, pestilence, disease, and by wild beasts of the earth, man. So the disease, man. What you think? What you think? Cancer, diabetes, and that's a disease, man. So this devil was was given the power to kill. Death followed him by any means, man, by all means, man. Hunger, So like I said, you hunger because what is that? That's the food, man. What is hunger? So more or less famines, because that's what's going on over there with those Palestinians over there, the Ishmaelites. They got coons playing mind games,
They're trying to push the spirit, trying to.
They got these coons playing mind games because just like the elder brought it out last night, man. When the elders brought out, because they said you can claim these niggas, they can claim any damn thing they want to claim. You claim you're goddamn, you claim Islam, you claim goddamn Christianity, you claim you're a Buddhist, you claim you this, that. There's no problem. But as soon as you claim you're a child of God, you're an Israelite. Oh hell no! Say motherfuckers like that. Oh hell no! So yeah, so evidently this is the truth, man. Why you getting so much
backlash?
Backlash and goddamn opposition. Getting so much backlash and opposition if you claim your heritage, man, which is a Hebrew Israelite. There's no black in it, man. We ain't black. That was created by the devil, man. That title was created by the devil. He put it on our people. We ain't black shit. We're the nation of Israel, man. Hebrew Israelites, man.
That's what we, just like I mentioned earlier, these people young, man. History tell you, if you go back, that was a social construct. Came about during the Bacon's Rebellion, this black and white concept, man. It was a false creation, man. You know what I'm saying? History, that's a fact in history, man. But these people want to still cleave on to it, like, no, that's what you were born with. That's your nationality. There's no land called black. You know what I'm saying? So now, you know what I'm saying? These people don't understand, man. But I got a precept. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 51. I'm gonna start from the top. It says a prayer of Yahweh, the son of Sirach. I would thank thee, so like I would thank thee, O Lord and King, and praise thee, O power, my Savior. I do give praises unto thy name, which is Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. For thou art my defender and helper, and has preserved my body from destruction and from the snare of the slanderous tongue, and from the lips that forge lies, and has been mine helper against my adversaries. That's what these jokers do, man. They like to flip the narrative, man. They want to act like they have been the problem the whole time, slanderous, causing lies, rumors, mischief, being busybodies. But then once you become hip to it, they trying to orchestrate situations that portray like, nah, that's what you are. You're the slander. You're the one that's making lies, which they're the ones they bring these fabrication of lies. They may be true into existence, hoping in efforts that you spread it. But that's how these devils work, man. And has delivered me, and just like these people were saying, oh, I'm saved, like you see these plantation Christians, like, Yeah, I'm already saved. Saved from what? Ecclesiasticus 51:2, it says, "For thou art my defender and helper, and has preserved my body from destruction." That's who the Lord is going to save, man. This destruction of Babylon the Great. That's who's going to be saved, man. You got these plantation Christians thinking that I'm already saved. How? From what? You know, you don't know until when, till that day, until that event happens that you're saved, man. You
He
know,
said, what is it? Those who to the end, the same shall be saved.
endure.
Yeah, those who endure those who endure to the end, the same shall be saved, man. So you got to endure to the end, man.
Yeah, they up there trying to say, you know, I'm already saved. Then they say that Cedric Beaujeu name. Like right now, they got these. I got a clip of this. I'll probably play it, though, whether I may or may not. But they got some of these. Cause you know that's what they've been listening to, man. They've been listening to the elders, man, first and foremost. But the true men of the Lord on the highways and byways preaching this gospel, man. You know, through the epistles, sit downs, or highways and byways making lessons. You got these churches now. Like I see this video on social media, you got this black guy, so-called black guy, right? I'm just using what they identify as quote unquote black guy, preacher, you know, suit and tie, but he's going into the history of Cesare Borgia and saying that that's a fake idol. So he's condemning, you know, that name and image. But who been bringing this to light has been the men, man. That men been doing this for decades, you know, decades and decades, man, been bringing this word out. But now you got these modern day Christian pastors now, or modern day Christianity trying to bring it to light now as if they got some revelation, man. Nah, what they've been ear hustling, first and foremost, our teachers. They've been ear hustling the prophets. Now all they're doing is trying to mimic, like parrots. All they trying to do is talk, you know, say it. But it's the truth. Nonetheless, what they're saying is the truth. But you got to understand where you get it from, man. Because really, a lot of them got
So give honors to who, double honors to the apostles, man.
the teachers, man. You know, who taught this truth before you. Like there's a narrow path, man. Who came before? Who's before us, man? The teachers first and foremost, the teachers, and then you got the brothers in following the role of them, and Lord willing, I mean, we behind them, Lord willing, we're part of that number, man. You know, I mean, we don't know. We just hoping that Lord show mercy, man. You know, that's what we doing. So all we can do is hope, man. We like the hopeful elect, man. We ain't gonna boast because the Lord can really disappoint you if you want to boast and brag, you know, puff it up and think that you know something and think that, you know, like these Christians, oh, we already saved, man. The Lord can really very much disappoint you, man. You know, if you try to be, that's being like proud-hearted, man. Continue on, Ecclesiastes 51:2 says, "For thou art my defender and helper, and has preserved my body from destruction, and from the snare of the slanderous tongue, and from the lips that forge lies, and has been my helper against my adversaries, and has delivered me according to the multitude of thy mercies and greatness of thy name, from the teeth of them that were ready to devour me, and out of the hands of such has sought after my life, and from the mindful affliction which I had."
Those who sought after my life. And that's what this devil is doing with even with his food, man. You know, he's seeking your life, man. He's seeking to destroy you, man. You know, that's what the devil's ultimate plan is, to destroy you one way or the other. He was given power of death to kill through what? By hunger, pestilence, beasts, any way, any form. He don't say he weaponized everything, man. And I'm gonna go into what weaponized means too. You know, I was looking at it earlier. What weaponized mean, man? So this devil was given a great sword, but also the Savior was given a great sword to take peace from the earth, and and death followed him, man. You know, his methods of this is better for the environment. You know, like I said, this devil gonna feed you a lie. He's gonna feed you a lie, and you people won't believe it. You know, this is better for the environment to go about it my way. 3D printed meats and
Yeah, try to kill off,
clone meats and shit.
try to kill off the cow like the ox. I forgot the name of, you may know an ox, but they said they're giving these cows this certain medication to stop them from burping and farting.
Yeah, this additive called Bovera. You know, that's the name of it, Bovera. They're giving these cows in Australia and certain European and certain other European countries. They're giving them this additive in their food called Bovera, and it's causing the cows to lose calcium, and basically they stop eating and die off, man. You know.
But yet, just like I said, he's trying to do it in the name of being some humanitarian, saying that I'm trying to prevent climate change or whatever it may be. But the Lord intended these animals to do that, man. It's a natural process of life to birth and fart, man. You know what I mean? And I found some other information out by a farmer. He put that, he said what these people are trying to say about cows, he said they produce a minute level of carbon monoxide that they're trying to say contribute to global climate change or global warming, whatever you want to call it. They said these cows produce a small number, and then he went to the facts. This guy's a farmer, and more or less, the human cow produce more carbon monoxide or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, CO2 or methane gas.
Yeah, they said that human beings produce more than the cows. But you know what I mean?
That's why they got a depop agenda too. They speak about that. Yeah, they want to do that. Kill Gates, you know, he brought that up. The CO2 submission, you gotta do a very good job. One of these have to come close to zero. Talking about one of these adds to the equations must come to zero. Talking about people, CO2. One of these need to come to zero. You know what I'm saying? What you think you talking about? Go look it up, man. Go look up that video. It was all on the video. I mean, it was all on social media. It's still there, should be.
You know, they're trying to scrub it off, you know what I mean? As if, it's,
he ain't really mean that. That ain't what he meant.
Yeah, it was some conspiracy theory that really didn't, but yeah, this devil man, he actually outright admitted
They must be mimicking voice mimicking technology. You know they got that.
This devil going out, he outright, just like that Kill Gates, he's outright admitting that he's trying to knock people off by administering them jump shots, man, as coining the elders, that's how they call it. He's actually saying that. He said they can eliminate the population, the human population by giving these people these jump shots, man.
Lower the CO2 emission.
But these people be in line and get it. Make sure you get your they get in line to get it, but they outright telling you that's how they're knocking you off, man. That's how dumb these people is, man. And these devils, they don't feel no guilt because what they're telling you. I'm telling you that's why you be the fool to take it. You know what I'm saying? I have no guilt. That's how these devils roll, man. Because it's an ancient. I remember the time. I used to know it some time ago, but it's an ancient philosophy that goes back during ancient time, man. And that's what they do. They tell you these things before they do it, so they won't relieve them of any guilt, man.
One saying is called revelation of the method, predictive programming. Revelation of the method. That's one.
Yeah, but now this is like a very ancient term that I used to know it some time ago, but I forgot. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, a lot of this information, that's what they do on the internet. It used to be, like I said, you could used to be able to see it, pull it up, but they'll scrub it clean, or they'll make it very hard for you to obtain certain information. Say maybe 10, 15 years ago, you could just, put some, a couple of key words up and they'll pop up, but now they're trying to hide it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because these devils are being revealed, man. You got something else out? I'm just gonna finish reading this precept on it.
I won't go into the definition of weaponized. Because I did have Job 13:4. It says, I just read that. The book of Job 13:4 says, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. And that's these devils, man. They are forgers of lies, man. physicians of no value. So to their food, so-called food system, you know, their medical system, all it revolves around death, man. You know, these are forges of lies, physicians of no value, right? And like, you know, I looked up what weaponize means. The definition of weaponize, it says to adapt, adapt for use as a weapon, right? Adapt for use as a weapon. That's one definition. It says, verse, the second definition, it says exploit. It says exploit for the purpose of attacking a person or group or for spreading discord, right? So it says exploit for the purpose of attacking a person or group, right? So they exploit purposes to attack people, man. And that's how they attacking you. Do food suits is a form of attack, man. They weaponize the food, weaponize your air, weaponize your water. You know, it's a form of attack so they can attack you. So what? They can kill you. But like the scripture said, death followed him, man. You know, so he's exploiting ways. Look at the word exploit. Exploit, it says make full use of and derive benefit from a resource, man. Right? Exploit, it says use a situation or person in an unfair or selfish way, man. Benefit unfairly. So they exploiting you to attack you, man. It's an unfair way. It's an unfair way that they're attacking you because they're attacking your food system. Then they'll make laws and legislation to say you can't grow your own food. You know, now okay, you want to support local farmers. You know what we're gonna do next? We're gonna make it because that's a government. What that both years that was a government mandatory mandate that it was government made mandatory by the government that these farmers have to feed their cows this bovine, this additive, man. So it's unfair. Like, man, you can't even go support your local farmers. They gonna fucking make a damn fucking law to do away with that, man. Now your fucking animals, your cows you gotta feed your cows this bovine or this additive so they can stop methane gas emissions, cut down their methane gas emission, right? So that's unfair, man. You're exploiting you to attack you.
Unrighteous decree.
All right, God, that's on Isaiah chapter 10, man. I think Isaiah chapter 10. No, so this devil is exploiting people. He's exploiting you to attack you, man. That's what it says, to exploit in an unfair way for purposes of attack, man. So that's what it is. He's using an unfair way for the purpose of attack. It's unfair what this devil is doing, man.
It's one thing that second you want to grow some shit that's unhealthy and you want to eat it. It's something totally different when you force anybody else or somebody else to do it. You know what I'm saying? Eat it because that's what you do.
Demonize what's natural.
That's one thing if you want to do it just like that. It's a perverse lifestyle. That's one thing if you want to indulge in it. But it's totally it's something different when you try to force everybody else to go about a way of life that you like. You know what I'm saying? That's what this devil is. If you don't like, that's why these not to distract the subject, but that's why you see a lot of these niggas now, these celebrities now, in that alternative lifestyle. You know why? Because that's the lifestyle these devils are into. They like, if you want you to succeed in this world, you have to be, you have to do what we do. You want to reach this level of success. You want to be some multi-million-dollar superstar, whatever. You want to like what we like. That's why you see now a lot of these damn actors. I'm just saying, for these niggas in the entertainment world with 10 years ago, 12, 15 years ago, you would never think that they would be associated with that lifestyle, but you see it more and more. You know, if it ain't them directly, it's their children, man. Because they're sacrificing their, you know, they have to make sacrifice to what? To don't read some this
sacrificing their God by all. You gotta sacrifice their God by all. These Edomites, these devils. You gotta make a wicked sacrifice.
And they're trying to flip the script, acting like that's what these niggas, because they want to put these niggas in the face of that shit, man. They want to flip the script, act like, nah, that's what these niggas would do. Because now, just like this Elon Musk carried and all these other damn Edomites and shit, they try to act like, or if you were a heterosexual, conservative white male, you a bad guy. So they want to act like the epitome of masculinity is these fucking white boys around here, man. Because you know why? Because they're the ones that's trying to paint the narrative. They got these sucker ass niggas, man. Because they give them little, hey, act like that. Go around, stop twitching it. We'll leave you alone and shit. Act like you some damn little female and shit. We'll leave you alone and shit. You know what I'm saying? Walk around with purses and goddamn dresses and shit. That when you see damn celebrities and shit, man, you know. But that's the lifestyle this devil created. That's what he about. But he want to act like the image, the face of it, some damn clown ass nigga. Then look at everybody else like, you know, I'm some heterosexual, straight conservative white male. Y'all the one that like this gay shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how that's the manipulation of these damn devils, man.
I'm gonna read this translation, Isaiah 10:1, out of the New Living Translation, right? It says, "What sorrow awaits the unjust judges? What sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws, man." So that's what like we're going into, man. We're going back to this is unfair. They extort you unfairly to attack you, man. You know that word exploit means to come at the benefit unfairly, man. You know, in every way trying to it's unfair that they trying to make this make these into laws to attack you people, basically attacking your life, man, literally. You know, he is as death, Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, man. Death followed this devil. Revelation chapter 6, right? Death and hell followed him, man. Death and destruction, you know, that followed this devil, man. So yeah, it's I'm gonna read that again out of Isaiah 10:1. It says out the New Living Translation, it says, "What sorrow awaits the unjust judges, and those who issue unfair laws," man. Right? So it's an unfair law and make this boat bearer. That's fucking unfair, man. You know, oh, you want to support your fucking local farmers? Okay, you motherfuckers gonna make mandate, which they already did it in Australia and another some European country. I can't remember some European country. I can't remember where it at. They already made it mandatory that these farmers got to feed their livestock this bovine, which is you got to in order to handle that shit, in order to you physically handling this bovine chemical or whatever, you got to use PPE. You got to have a goddamn lab suit, glasses, respirator, a fucking mask and shit like that, man. But they trying to say it's good, all that shit dissipates and dissolves in the animal and there's no harm. That's what they say, man. You know? And that's on us, that's unrighteous, man. You know, unfair, man. You know, for the people, you know, you forced to do what these devils tell you, or else, you know, you gotta take this jump shot, or else you gonna lose your job. In order to work here, you gotta take this goddamn fucking experimental jump shot, hook shot, you know, or lose your livelihood. You can't join our military, you're gonna lose your livelihood. You know, that's this devil, man. Unrighteous decrees, man. This is I'm reading at Isaiah 10 and 1 of the KJV. It says, "Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed." Like I said, I was grieved, you know, grieved to eat that fucking chicken that day, man. I was like, man, this shit goddamn grieving, dreading to eat it, grievous. This fucking real chicken, man. You know what I'm saying? This real fucking food, man. That's this devil, man. The so-called self-proclaimed white man. That's him, man. The fucking devil, you know. But this devil trying to paint the picture how he want to paint the picture because he's an authority. He can paint the narrative. Why? Because Job 9 and 24, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. So this devil can paint the narrative. He can make things the way he sees. He got a God complex on the planet Earth. Even to what's going on in I just seen a video. They said now it's not about Venezuela. Seemingly, it's not all. I meant to make a video and I got you. It's not all about. It's the truth is coming out of the devil. It's not all about. It's not all about drugs over there in Venezuela. Oil got to play in. Oil is a play in that shit. Dude is wicked, man. You know, so he was wicked, man.
I got a piece of this book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and 7. It says, "And in the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to join in like the Jews were compelled to go in the Jews were compelled to go in processions to Bacchus carrying iron. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. That's what this devil did. This devil do. He made these decrees that you have to partake in things that they do. You know, we partake in these, like I was mentioning about these celebrities. There's a decree. You have to do what we do. This is our lifestyle. So if you want to, live, you have to part. They make it a decree, whether it be some type of outright decree or they do it secretively. Man. You know what I'm saying? You know what you got yourself into. So amongst us, there's a decree. So in order for you to, obtain some level of success in this devil society, you have to partake in the same fashions and partake in their sacrifices the same fashion they do, man. Because this world, this wicked society was given in the hand of these wicked people, man. That's why it's in the state that it's in. Like I said, the earth wanted the people, the people language, or the people wanted the earth language. What we paraphrasing, man. So that's why you see the state of the world is in conflict, and deception. It's at an all-time high because what? Because the Lord said these things will happen, and what it's going to, we know it's going to be an uptick. It's going to happen just like the couple of years following. Now you see what more uptick of conflict with these nations, man. You see the diabolical methods that these people are doing. You saw even something like white man. They're doing when it comes to you living your lifestyle, man. So this stuff is going to progress. It's going to progress. Because we know we're in these last days, man. And all we doing, we can't wait. We patiently wait, man, for the arrival of our Lord and Savior, man. Read it again, Second Maccabees 6:2. It says, so like, Second Maccabees 6:8. It says, moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. Man. So they want you to partake in the same fashions that these people, like I mentioned earlier, it's one thing that you do it, but it's something totally different when you force other people to do the shit that you do. There's one thing you want to feel your body, you want to eat filth, but it's something totally different when you force me to do it. That's an unrighteous decree, man. That's in these devils' nature, man. They've been that way, man.
Like I know one of the brothers said, man, so much going. Y'all about Shai got so much going on, man. It's hard to keep up, man. I'm trying to keep up with all this. One of y'all about Shai, man, can't keep up with all what the Lord's having done in the world, man. It's hard to keep up, man.
Yeah, we ain't complaining, we just see it. You know what I mean? We want to keep up, speed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we just saying the facts that it is so much going on because we know that means prophecy, man. It is coming. The words of the
Scripture said he's not slack concerning his promises.
God. The words of the holy book is being fulfilled, man.
Even with this fucking ice cream, this Breyers ice cream. You know what it says? It's no longer called ice cream no more. You know what it's called? Frozen dessert. Man. This devil. This motherfucking devil, man. Like it's not even ice cream. They took the word ice cream off Breyers ice cream. It's called frozen dessert. Man.
So ice cream was made what? By simple ingredients. What? Milk, ice, maybe butter. I'm not sure. Sugar. A couple of simple ingredients, man. Now they added, you going back to the damn fucking paragraph of the science project. Like disosamine diclosoride. You don't know what the hell you eat. Like, what the fuck is this, man? Just to make ice cream, man? This shit is simple, man. There's a couple of simple ingredients, man. Ice, milk, maybe I don't know if it's butter. I don't know, it's sugar or whatever, It's a couple of simple ingredients, man. People was making ice cream from scratch, But now, you reduced to eating goddamn a science project and they put in your face as if, it's something, organic. But now, in all actuality, it's not, And that's why they're refraining from calling it what it once what it once was. Like I was saying, it's no longer called ice cream no more. It's called frozen dessert. Just to, so people can't say, hey man, we told you it's not ice cream. When you say it's a frozen dessert, you know what I'm saying? It's not ice cream anymore, So they can be pretty much not be held accountable,
Guilt trip. They don't have no guilt trip over it. You got it there. It's bioengineered
They're masters of manipulation, man. Son of perdition.
I'm trying to find that video, man, because on media do something with it. When it's talking about Venezuela, they said Venezuela is not all about drugs or something like that.
No, it never was. It never was. That's nothing more than like you mentioned before, a scapegoat. That's something for these people here to believe. These people here to believe to justify the actions that they really want to take. They want to go over there like they've been doing so for a long time now. Is overthrow that government so they can take control of their resources. Man. That's what they want to do.
Frankenbeef.
That's exactly what they want to do. Man. know, it was everything. I basically I said that from the beginning. Once I ran across or I came across some information, man, I'm like, yeah, that's what when I was mentioning, when the beginning of this conflict down there, and I saw some information, and it was going to Venezuela holds the world's largest oil reserve, man. And that's the reason why this devil is going down there, man. He want that oil, man. You know, just like in what was that? Iraq. That's the whole reason why they invaded Iraq, man. Oil, man. It's the same reason.
It was weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, that was their excuse. But the whole reason why they went is the oil, man. They went to go get the oil.
I was being sarcastic. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. No, it's weapons of mass destruction.
And then, come to find out,
it's about the oil.
Because all that was the fucking scapegoat or fucking something that they came up with to try to justify them going into that country. And then they call that leader, like you call all these other leaders dictators, and the biggest dictator on the planet is these people. You're the ones telling people they can't. We sanctioning these people. That oil is being. They're trying to, because I seen that this morning. They're trying to say the reason why to justify this guy taking. They say it's going to be used for terroristic activity. How you know, man? We seized the oil to prevent them from using it for terrorists. I'm like, come on, man.
Crafty, man.
Yeah, everything.
He saw you was crafty as hell. He clever as hell, man.
Everything these other people are doing, they're doing it in efforts to promote terrorism. Like, man, get out of here, man. The biggest terrorists on the planet is them. They're the one that's occupying the biggest military occupation. The title holder is the United States, man. They're going around other people's countries and invading their country and changing up their sceneries and governments and stuff like that, man. And it's not by some friendly handshake and some paperwork, man. No, it's by force. They're going up, bombing, destroying, killing people, man, and then making them succumb to an extent to their demands, man. It's not no handshake and mutual agreement thing, and I'm gonna jot down with a pen and we agree. No, it's about a gun, man. Guns and bombs and shit. All kind of wickedness, man. Threat and coercion. Like I said, it's supposed to be an open market. The sea is supposed to be open market. I remember they were saying that about China some years ago, that they was going through the South China Sea. It was some United States carrier, and China was like, yo, you can't do that. You can't come through here. And then they were saying it's supposed to be an open market. Free for open. Why you don't own the sea, but apparently they do. That's why they want to change it from the Gulf of Mexico to what? The Gulf of America, man. So they can act like they control what goes in and around that body of water, man. We don't call it that. That's all they got to do is they recognize it as the Gulf of America now, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because we recognize it as the Gulf of America now. That's it. We don't care what it was or whatever. What you recognize is what we think it is, and that's fine. Like the biggest dictator, man. That's a dictator move, man.
I gotta look through it, man. Y'all see the third. Oh, here it is. The real reason Venezuela. The real reason Venezuela matters. You know what I'm saying? I found the video, but the real reason Venezuela matters. This guy basically breaks it down. It's Sky News. Sky News and shit. I got to do something with this. I was looking through history. I couldn't find it.
I forgot there was this Muslim guy, man. He's more intellectual, man. He knows world topics and current events and what these devils are capable of and what they're doing. He was stating that, he said right now, he said what's going on in the U.S. He said they're no longer considered a global power, man. So what they're
Doing
doing,
like a region.
yeah. So what they're doing is they're trying to be a regional power. So they're trying to pretty much hold the title on this region, North, South, it's North, Central, and South America, man. So they want to be that power out there in Canada too. You know, they want to be that powerhouse on this region called now.
Western Hemisphere.
Because now they're no longer considered a world power anymore, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of countries over there, in, what they consider the East,
Babylon has fallen.
a lot of countries where they see it, where they consider over there in the East, they're not dealing with them on the same level as they once were, man. You know what I'm saying? People in other countries are not even accepting their currency. They're finding other ways to do business, cutting them out, cutting the middleman out. You know, so they're reduced to, if any, a regional power, man. You know, that's why they're threatening all these other countries that's around them, man. You know.
Yeah, and I want to play this video where it says the real reason Venezuela matters, right?
They check the time too.
Oh, it's already 2:05. This will probably be it.
Now, Donald Trump is insisting that the main reason he's interested in Venezuela, the main reason the US is kind of looking at tankers off the coast of Venezuela comes back to drugs, the trade, the smuggling of illegal drugs out of Venezuela. But what if it's not just that? Maybe there's something else going on. What if it's partly about oil? Now, on the surface, you might be thinking, why does America even need Venezuelan oil? And I can kind of understand your point, because if you look at just total oil production, look, this is up until 2005, the US was there, Venezuela was there, Saudi Arabia was there. But as you probably know, since then, everything has changed. Look, American output has gone through the roof, way above Saudi Arabia, And Venezuela has gone basically to the floor. And that's post Chavez, Maduro. They're one of the minnows now, I think 21st biggest producer in the world. So again, that question, why should America care? Well, in the US, that big rise is largely down to this. It's down to the shale revolution. So you've got fracking all around the US producing extraordinary amounts of crude oil. And here's where we get to the interesting bit. Because when you're thinking about crude oil, maybe you're just thinking about, look, barrels of oil. It's all the same, isn't it? Well, actually, no. So if you kind of look at crude oil, there are various different types of crude in different parts of the world. There's actually kind of various different ways you can categorize it. But one way you can look at it is look at the kind of density. So you're basically looking at how thick that crude is. And when I say thick, I mean literally how thick. This is showing you global production broken down by the density of that oil. And so you've got the kind of medium stuff. And this is probably, if you've got kind of image in your mind of what crude oil looks like, it's a bit like this, it's kind of black, but it's not too viscous, it flows around. But there's other stuff as well. So this is light crude. And it kind of almost looks like a smoothie, doesn't it? And that's the same stuff. This is still crude oil, but down to the kind of geological and the biological conditions in the ground when it was being formed, hundreds of millions of years ago, it comes out looking a bit different. And so that's light. You've also got heavy stuff. And it's kind of relatively small in global production, but this is gloopy, super viscous stuff, heavy oil. So heavy, medium, light. Remember that. And remember also, the key thing here is you get it out of the ground, it may look like that, but ultimately you still need it to go into, someone's car, or indeed, be turned into chemicals. Basically, you need to process it. And that processing, that happens in places like this, in refineries. And there are refineries all over the world, of course. There are refineries all over the US as well. There's kind of more than 100 of them. And if we kind of look at where those refineries are, well, so there's some in California. So the history in America, actually.
I mean, it's only like 6 minutes, but basically Venezuela got the crude, that dark, let me see.
Up and up and up, and the amount of kind of heavy stuff has gone down. But back to those refineries, they need to be fed. If America's going to have gasoline, it needs to feed those refineries with heavy oil. So if you look at the kind of imports coming into America in recent years, even though America is producing so much oil, more oil than it ever produced before, it still needs to suck in loads of oil from overseas. And the type of oil we're talking about, it used to be, it's mostly heavy crude. It used to be only 12%. So only 12% of imports were heavy, gloopy crude. Now, it's about 70%. So 70% of the oil coming into America, which it needs to basically keep its economy going, is heavy crude. And where does heavy crude come from? Well, here are some of the big countries where you find most of it. It's Canada and Venezuela.
So
There's
that,
one other I'll come to in a second, which we'll come back.
so that was the main point. That heavy crude, man, that dark oil from Canada and Venezuela, they got the most reserves. Just like I was talking about, they are regional power. I mean, they're no longer global power. Babylon has fallen, you know, so they're trying to keep this regional dominance, or trying to gain regional dominance over here in the Western Hemisphere, man. You know,
We're gonna end it off there. Before we do, we give all praises, honor, and glory to
like how about Shin, how was shy by Shin,
it's your Akim
the
27.
brother of Bakala.
Lord willing, we'll be back doing another lesson. Until next time, Shalom, rock strong.